This is the last chapter of Wren, chapter 15, Christmas. It was a week before Christmas. It was the night of the search. The search was a family adventure that came once a year. It was the search for the biggest and most beautiful Christmas tree that could be found. The search was always conducted at night. All the family went. They loved the bright Christmas lights hung along the streets and the gay decorations in the brightly lit shops. Best of all, they liked to search in the snow. And this night it was snowing. There was great excitement. They had to dress warmly, for it was very cold. At last they were ready to set out. Everyone was bundled up with snowsuits, scarves, caps, and mittens. Rory had so many clothes on he could just barely put one little foot in front of the other. With his bright cheeks and starry eyes, he looked like one of Santa's helpers in his red suit and his peaked hat. Everyone piled into the car, including Shanty, and they started off. They sang Christmas carols as they drove. Holy Night, O Little Town of Bethlehem, It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, Adeste Fidelis, and many others. Each time they came to a place that sold trees, they all got out to look at them. After all, it was the family's tree, and every member of the family had to approve it. Not finding one grand enough, they would all pile back in the car and start off again. It got colder and colder, and the snow fell heavier and heavier, wrapping all the world in white stillness. Wren put part of her blanket over Shanty. He couldn't sing to stay warm. After several unsuccessful stops, they began to wonder if they would ever find it. Daddy said, "I wonder if we should give up." The children chorused, "No!" Wren added, "We are determined and courageous." "In that case," said Daddy, "we should have something to keep our courage up. Let's have some hot chocolate and buns." "Hooray! Wonderful! I'm famished," Wren told them. "Wommy famished," said her little brother. Daddy took them to a little shop that was paneled in pine wood and that gleamed in the lamplight, and there were holly boughs and chains of greens around the wall. In the center of each table there was a red candle burning brightly. Rory tried to blow it out. The chocolate was hot and sweet, and it warmed them all over. They were singing more loudly than ever when they started off again. They turned up a little side street, and there beside a tiny white house they saw it. Mommy called out, "Stop the car! There it is! I can see it from here!" Daddy pulled in the driveway and they all got out. Shanty danced around in the snow and they went over to make sure this tree was surely it. Rory wasn't interested in the tree, but he looked at the white snow covering everything and said, "Muck, Cowan see muck." Muck in Rory's language was milk, and so far as he was concerned, the world was covered in milk. Daddy held the tree upright so they could walk around it and judge. It was more than twice as tall as he was. Its branches were so thick they couldn't see the trunk. It was a dark blue-green, and the lower branches swept the earth. It was so wide that 4 of them couldn't link arms around it. "I think it's been waiting for us, Daddy," Marie said. "It looks glad we came," Gloria agreed. "I know it wants us to take it," Wren told them. "Gimme," said Rory, holding out his plump little hands. "This is the loveliest tree ever," said Mummy softly, caressing a bough. "That settles it," Daddy decided. On the way home, they sang "Oh, Christmas Tree." That is, all but Rory. He fell asleep in Karen's lap. They talked about the beautiful ornaments in the boxes in the attic. Their tree would be dressed as royalty. As soon as they reached home, Mom, Pom, and Daddy bundled the children into bed. They were so tired they fell asleep almost immediately. Karen dreamt that the tree put its arms around her and its topmost branch kissed her lightly on the forehead, and the tree whispered, "Thank you for choosing me." The next day, the whole family joined in setting up the creche. They made hills and valleys covered with snow. They put the pine branches around the stable and the forest on the hill. They stood Mary and Joseph beside the manger, and the cow and the donkey at the foot of the manger. The shepherd boy and his daddy were off in the field, hurrying toward the stable. They put the flock on the side of the hill to graze, with the dogs guarding the sheep. The bunnies were hopping across the snow, and the squirrel and the mouse were in their corner of the stable. And the goats were on the path. The manger was filled with straw, and then most lovingly they placed the baby with his arms outstretched toward them. Daddy suspended a lovely star over the stable, and there were invisible wires holding angels as they hovered over the newborn king. Mom Pom had bought 4 new little lambs, one for each of her children. They all said their night prayers in front of the stable, and when they were finished, Mummy said, "Here's a lamb for each of you. I'm going to put them in the field." "Pretty," said Rory. Mummy continued, "Each night when we finished our prayers, this is what you shall do. If you've been good children, you may move your lamb along the path to the stable. If you've been naughty, the lamb must stay where he is until the next night. If you're very, very good, you should all get your lambs to the manger by Christmas Eve." I think that baby Jesus would think that was the best present, to have you all so good that there would be 4 lambs waiting for him at his crib the night he's born. Marie was thinking of the night she had knelt before the baby and asked him, "Dear baby Jesus, Christmas is your birthday. Couldn't you bring Karen a present? Please, please help Mommy and Daddy find a doctor who will teach Karen to use her arms and legs. Please, baby, thank you." She thought how good the baby Jesus had been to her, to them all. She thought most people didn't ask him enough. She thought how much he had done for Wren, how she could ever thank him. After the others left, she knelt alone in front of the manger and told him, "Thank you, baby Jesus. Thank you very much." Was it the flickering of the candles, or did the baby smile? The days before Christmas were always the longest days of the year. This year they seemed longer than ever. Daddy put up 2 cots in Wren's room for Gloria and Marie because the children always slept together on Christmas Eve. They were all very happy and a little proud when this holy night came because 4 little lambs were close against the manger. In this house there was a custom which was dear to all the family. On Christmas morning, before they went to the tree and presents for the material part of Christmas, they went to greet the baby. It was still dark when they awoke. The snow lay like a blessing on all of the world. Marie and Gloria put their robes on and helped Wren and Rory with theirs. Rory chanted, "Hurry, hurry, want to see the baby." They put the crutches on Wren and went to wake up Mom, Pom, and Daddy. All together, but softly, they started up to the crib, singing "Silent Night, Holy Night." The candles were burning steadily, and the star hung bright over the stable. All is calm, all is bright. With hearts overflowing with love for the baby, they reached the manger and finished their song. As they stood there, Wren moved close, and then she did a marvelous thing. She took off one crutch and balanced without help on the other. She stretched out her hand and placed it ever so tenderly on the foot of the baby. And using only one crutch, standing tall and proud, she sang in her high, sweet voice, "Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you." The others joined in their glad voices with hers. "Happy birthday, baby Jesus. Happy birthday to you." The end.